rappers.
Welcome everybody to another Lifting Spirits, Saving Souls podcast. I'm very happy to have you today. Very happy to have the honorable.
Oh, honorable. Oh, that's interesting. So made me feel like I'm a judge. All right.
Miss Shia.
Oh, thought she was gonna come up with something else, but it's good.
I was.
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
No, honorable Miss Shia. All right.
So this is try 3.
Try 3.
She is the most mythical, most shrouded in mystery of all the podcast guests, and
Shrouded in
a
mystery.
favorite. And you know, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and Miss Shia is
He
a child
does.
of God.
Oh no! Shh, don't tell nobody.
So, huh?
Don't tell
We
nobody.
want the
that.
whole world to know that. But I am
No, don't tell nobody.
Feel
That's
good.
everybody.
No, it is. Everybody's a child of God, but you just wanted to put emphasis.
Yeah, you did.
I was just saying you work in mysterious ways.
Hey, the Lord does work through me through mysterious ways. Yes,
And you work mysteriously with this.
not without Him.
True.
Not without Him,
Because
but
you're
you
a
just
child
wanted.
of him.
She got a point there.
Not without Him. So I'm just saying, don't tell nobody.
All right.
They might come to me and
I'm
be
not
requesting
telling
stuff,
you. I'm not telling
saying, "Should I prophesy?"
you. In the name of the Lord.
Okay, I'm not doing all that. That's a different type of. I ain't gifted like that.
Amen.
I got a gift of listening.
Amen. Well, you also have the gift of being a legendary podcast guest, and so we're very happy to have you today.
Oh, now I'm a
with us.
legend. This is interesting. 3 times. Let's go.
You were a legend before the podcast. Now you're on
Depends
the
on-
podcast. Carries over.
Depends on who you're talking to. My daddy might say something different.
That's all good. That's all good. All right, Miss Shia, you are a active member in
The Eastside community. Yes, I am.
Eastside community and Tacoma in general, and you have a lot of impact on youth, and you work with a lot of people and organizations that also have a big impact on the youth. So, yeah, we got last time in the mythical episode that you will only ever get to see if you pay us the big bucks. We're gonna have it like an NFT, so only top subscribers can really get access to that because it's too legendary. But we got into some of the history of Tacoma. Since we have a little bit of limited time with you today, I'd like to just get into directly. We're trying to connect Tacoma with Tacoma. What would you say is the most underutilized resource that parents have access to in Tacoma, or that youth have access to?
That's hard to say because it depends on the family and what they need. Because one thing I do know is Tacoma does have resources.
Right.
Pierce County itself has resources. I just think that it comes down to how long you've been here and who you know. That will link you up in the right place for youth, because there's so many youth programs out here that feel the need. Is just, unfortunately, sometimes it's not always available financially for families.
It's true.
Especially with, everything that happened after COVID. A lot of stuff is discounted. Some things you can apply for scholarships. So I just think it's about how long you've been here and who you know. And everything's online, so it's not like you can't hardly research it.
Yeah, true. And if you live in Tacoma, there are community centers that have free, available to the public computers to use. So if you don't have access to a computer or internet at home, there's free Wi-Fi, there's a computer. You can bring in whatever you need to for whatever documents you need to sign up, and you can sign up for whatever you need to sign up for.
Okay, so are you talking about parks, Metro Parks have it available?
There's multiple different types of community centers. I'm not.
I know, but I'm just saying that it's
but Parks Tacoma does indeed have.
Yeah, Parks
community
Tacoma
centers.
does have that, but also T-Mobile has an opportunity for you to apply for free Wi-Fi. But T-Mobile has that. Also, Infinity also has it for a lower rate as well of access for internet as well. So it's not necessary, like I said, it's about the resources you know, and where you're at, pretty much, is where you're at. that also lets you know what resources is available.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was
Next question.
as non-specific as possible.
Next question.
Okay, let me ask you this, if I may.
Yeah.
If your kids were needing to be put into childcare, where would you put your kids today?
Shoot, my kids are. I have a kid that's in childcare, and right now he's at the Boys and Girls Club. That's where my child is at.
Okay, Boys and Girls Club got some good resources.
Yeah, but I'm saying yes, but also like you can tap into DSHS. DSHS also gives you a actual list of child cares available. It's just coming down to calling them and making sure that they have room available for your child.
Right.
So. That's another thing of a resource that you can tap into. And when I say DSHS, it's short for Department of Social and Health Services. And so they can actually do that as well. Like I said, my child, he's at the Boys and Girls Club. That's where he's supposed to be. That's where I feel is feasible. But there's the YMCA that provides programs and as well as, Parks Tacoma. There's also, like I said, there's mom and pop spots. You just got to look and find what neighborhood you're in.
It's true.
Is there any that you know of that you want to give some shine to? No? All right. I'm just saying,
I ain't been in that league in a minute.
Right.
My child's 9 and I got 2 adults.
And that's all I'm saying.
So it's a long
There's
time ago.
1 or 2 by my house, but I don't want to shout them out per se because there's a janky situation.
Listen,
So
you
I'm
never,
not-
so what you see on the outside and the inside is 2 different things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
there's
So
some
I just-
places I know where people drop their kids off at a janky looking spot where it's actually great people inside.
No, I've had that experience with my oldest. I had
Yeah.
a spot that I dropped when I was working as a young single mother.
Yeah.
On the outside, you was like, what is this?
Yeah.
But the inside was immaculate.
Yeah.
It was immaculate.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I mean, it looked like a home. You know what I'm saying? It looked like inside the home was just immaculate. The outside, it could do some repainting or something, but that inside,
Yeah.
that's where that care was. And then the people that facilitated the care made it a home. It was it was so cute. And I was just like, that's where my daughter was going to be. And so that's where my daughter was. Now, if you ask me to remember the name, I don't. So I don't even know if they're still open.
Right.
But, because that was like over 28 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying, like, you never know with child care centers. Sometimes the outside don't always, equivalent to what's in the inside.
It's true.
Right.
But trust me, people take care of people's kids, and they ain't trying to play.
Right.
Me being one of them. So, I take care of other people's kids.
Amen. All right. What challenges do you see that youth in Tacoma face, and what people, organizations, methods are you seeing that deal well with those problems?
Unfortunately, with our youth, I think what we have an issue is the kids don't know where they belong.
Kind of an identity crisis?
And it's not just an identity crisis. It's more than that. But they're just trying to find a place where they belong. And that they can be cared for and can actually be their authentic self.
Yeah.
That's what I see because of how things have tailored to the concerns of our kids in the streets. And also like seeing collaboratives in our city that are providing for these kids. Like, for instance, the late nights that are provided, and then definitely during after, school's done, they provide it for the summer. So, especially for our high school kids. But then, the thing that I would love to see, honestly, would love to see, is for those kids that have multiple family members. I would love to see some aftercare for that. And when I mean like some late night care for that, I know no kid should be out there that late anyway, but you got kids that are going to stay home for the whole entire summer watching their siblings because their siblings is no longer in school. And parents, not everybody can afford daycare per se during the summer, but you got some kids that are sitting at home. I was one of those kids that had to tailor my siblings with me everywhere I go, so I couldn't go to the late nights. I couldn't go, to the school dances per se because I had to watch my siblings. So those are the ones that I wish there was like some type of care for. I mean, let it be split even. You know what I'm saying? Some of the kids that, they have to watch their siblings because their parents may be working at nights. It would be nice to be, kids be able to have that piece. The elementary kids have their specialty on late nights where it kind of cuts early. But also gives the opportunity for the older kids to be a kid and not have to worry about their siblings.
Right, yeah, that part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even if the late night was set from like 5, I'm just saying, look, collaboratively overall, everybody.
Yeah.
It was set from like 5 to 9. You know what I'm saying? Where the kid can go, a teenager can go be a teenager, and he don't have to worry about his siblings cutting up because, there's care provided for the sibling. And then once dinner's provided, then he can go ahead and take his siblings home.
Right.
Or she can go take her siblings home. She won't be able to stay till 10 or 11, however, late nights close off, but at least she gets that opportunity to have that.
Right.
That would be great.
I would like to see more of the parents stepping up to the plate and actually going out with their children and giving them that activity or that initiative to get, do something good with their minds, do something good with their hearts, right? I noticed lately I see a lot of kids on the streets by themselves, not competing, no parents, no structure, no anything that would, allow them to be able to even want to do something constructive, you know what I mean? So I think
We don't know what people's households consist
that's
of.
true too. And then, for me, I'm the type of person, I don't mind helping a person out. If I see that person need some type of information that will help them out, I don't mind giving it to them. The thing is that are they willing to accept what I'm saying and actually use that information, right? If I can do it, then I'm hoping that other people can step up to the plate and do that same thing, just to help them out.
No, I hear what you're saying, but again, it comes down to not everybody knows everybody's situation. And to hit your point, there is things that are provided for the parents to engage with their children. It's just it comes down to, are you going to provide for your kids? Or are you going to be able to stay home? And as single parents, we don't have that setup. Not everybody has that setup. So I understand that the way that you're looking at it, I can understand your point of view, definitely. But for me, there are opportunities for parents to engage with their kids. It's up to them to engage with their kids.
Yeah.
And at the level that they're able to do it. Because again, at the end of the day, we have to provide for our kids. We have to, love our kids, and we have to do a lot of certain things, especially if you're a single parent. And I'm saying even in a double house, if you could, you got to provide for kids.
Yeah.
So
just monetary.
not monetary, but I'm saying all that stuff that you have to invest in your kids, and I'm just speaking only for my own personal experience. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know how hard that is.
Right.
But not everybody has that opportunity to do that, and it's unfortunate. But then again, at the end of the day, it's keeping your head above water or below. What are you going to choose?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I also feel like, too, I believe it's our responsibility. When I say our, I mean mankind, period. If we see a child out there, I believe somebody should step up to the plate and help out in that aspect. You know what I mean? Because when I was younger, I wanted somebody to come and say, hey, you're doing the wrong thing, bro. You probably want to do it this way. And maybe it would have stopped me from making mistakes.
But then again, you could be the person that says that to them and they still do what they do. I've had experiences like that where I've sat there and talked to children, not even say children, I talk to teenagers. The kids is the kids. I love the kids.
Sure.
But I have teens right now that are grown adults that chose the lifestyle that they chose.
Yeah.
And they have to deal with the repercussions for their actions, and they're dealing with it. And it didn't. And many times some have came to me and said, "Mishaya, if I'd have listened to you, what you said, I probably wouldn't be in this way." And then it's like, yeah, probably. But again, you're talking about teenagers that are trying to figure out themselves. 1, 2, how to manage what current situation they're in. 3, and some are being pushed to be adults. And they're not even ready to be adults. So that's why I call myself the biggest kid, because I had to be adult so fast. And I didn't even have kids until like 19 and 20. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I have taken care of so many kids, not even just my own siblings. I'm saying other people's kids. I even had a dude walk up to me. I was at the gas station like over a year ago, and he was like, "I remember you." And I was like, "What you talking about?" And he was like, "I remember you. He said you was like the mom of the community." Talking about when I was a kid.
Wow. Yeah.
He was telling one of his homeboys, like, she used to be the one. You know what I'm saying? And then he was talking about where we used to stay. And I was like, oh, dang, he remembered me when we used to stay. So I'm only like, back then, I'm like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old on the E. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, she kept everybody straight.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Because you were the one who was there to be able to do it.
Just
And you stepped
the
up.
responsibility was given unto me,
And you took it.
and I took it when I didn't even want to. I don't even know if I realized that I was taking on a responsibility because it was just a bunch of us kids. We were just kids looking out for each other. That was all we was doing.
Early spring of like 2022. And then over the course of the summer was like ran away from home, started like he wasn't even like affiliated, but started, you know, gangbanging, quote unquote, like thugging, you know. And then, but it was still just like all just petty, weird stuff. And then he just kept, you know, down that road and that lifestyle. And you know, he was like a respectful kid who just I always just felt like he was kind of insecure and didn't feel like he belonged anywhere, because everyone teases you in middle school, but not everybody handles it the same way. So some people, like, you get brutally bullied verbally and it doesn't really affect you at all because you got thick skin, or you know.
So you say you got thick skin. You don't never know what the challenges of when they go back home.
Sure, but they, for whatever reason, they don't decide to cope by going down this, you know, darker path. For whatever reason that is, whether that's because they know that it's wrong, or because, you know, they're trying to keep themselves on the right path, or because they have parents that love them, or a family member or a friend that loves them and is able to support them through.
I think it's more than that. I think it's not just that. You can listen. Being a mom, you can do all you can for your child, and your child will still go left.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
And you sit there and go, you know better. You do that. I don't even say you know better anymore, because first and foremost, you never know what your child is going through.
Yeah.
And you don't never, like, I'm an active mom, and when I say I'm an active mom, my children, they know I'll show up at their college.
Right.
So it'd be like, can we talk? Let me talk to you real quick.
Yeah.
But again, but yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, I would love to see that piece of care, you know, for the elementary students and the students that have siblings and cousins and stuff that live in the same household. Those things, I grew up in all that.
Yeah.
I would love for that to be a piece to be extended to the kids. You know what I'm saying? Because
Basically late night for the youth.
yes,
For the younger youth.
just for a kid, like, it's just, you know, not just like younger youth is what I'm saying, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, especially for those who have multiple, you know, children in the household. I think that would be great, because that would lift off the weight of the older sibling.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? The older sibling, lift that weight. If I could provide something like that, that would be super dope.
Yeah.
You know, providing free meals and just let the kids play or help them with homework. I mean, after school programs only can do so much. And then there's some that, you know, run from when you wake up until 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of that. But it's just that sometimes that aftercare is the important part. That after 6, that after 7, that after 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The late night.
The late night. And now, trust me, I've had wonderful opportunities doing late night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wonder why the kids be out there that late,
But as long as you know they're in a safe space and they fed,
yeah,
Yeah.
ain't no conversation.
I understand.
Ain't no conversation. Them kids, many times, come up and work, and the kids, they still come for me, even though I don't even do late nights anymore. They still come for me,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up, Glenn?
What challenges do you see you in Tacoma today, at your job, facing today? How do you address them at work?
I don't have to address them. They come to me.
Okay.
Well,
I
once
know-
they come to you, how do you?
Right, how do you handle it?
You just be listening.
No, I'm present.
Gotcha.
I'm present. So whatever they want to discuss with me, I'm present. I'm listening. I'm questioning. I'm advising, but I'm not trying to fix it. Because at the end of the day, they can take whatever I say and toss it to the side, or they can take it and and adhere to what I'm saying and move forward with that. But I also recognize their strengths. When I have conversations with them, I'm always pushing positivity. I'm always pushing something like, you did good here. You know what I'm saying? Despite all you're going through, you did good here.
I feel that. That's good.
And that's the part. You know what I'm saying? I don't approach no kid. Kid approaches me. And I love that they have somebody that they feel that is approachable. Because I used to not be that way. It was really interesting early on in my journey of working with youth. I wasn't always the approachable person, and I didn't want that to be that way. So the only examples that I learned how to be an approachable person is through my own kids.
Like just understanding that they needed that from you, and then going, okay, well, other people need it from you.
Not even that.
Oh, okay.
It was just noticing, like, what am I doing as a parent? Learning from my own parents. And I had one parent that was very disciplined, and I had another parent that would let you speak and be open-minded and would receive whatever you were saying. Sometimes. Love my daddy. But my mom wasn't that type of person. She was authoritarian. She was like, this is how it's going to go, and I don't care how you feel about it. My dad was more like, you know what, I'm going to do a hands-off approach. Okay, I'm going to let you figure out life, and then you come to me and ask me. So I had to kind of put two and two together with my own children. Then to the point where now it's like, you know what, if you're ready to talk, we're ready to talk. And trust me, I'm still growing in that area. I'm not perfect. I don't, I ain't always win. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you, like, having a conversation with my other kids, I was not it. It wasn't it. And I realized that the next day I was like, I wasn't there the way that I should have been there for you. And recognizing it and saying, okay, I got to handle it a different way. So when the kids do approach me, they hug me, they talk to me. It's funny too, because kids snitch on each other. And so they'll tell me stuff and I don't say nothing. So then it's like when I actually see the kid, it's not even a confrontation. They'll bring it up. I'm not with that girl no more. Michelle, oh, you not? You're not? I've been known, but you're not with that girl? I'm not with that girl no more. I'm glad. What happened? Oh man, it was just, I had to let it. Oh, okay. So you had to be grown. You had to get on your grown man stuff. Had to be on my grown man. Okay. All right. I'm glad that you're on that grown man. So what you doing right now? Oh, I'm just trying to, and I'm just, I'm just trying to do this and this. I got a job. Oh, hey, get that coin. You know what I'm saying? Like, get that coin. Dust his shoulder off and everything. Get the coin. And then we all dance and get the coin. I'm in there. I'm in that energy. I'm in there. I'm going to vibe with you too. You know what I'm saying? And then it's funny because they be like, Miss Shia, how did you know that? What you mean, how do I know? Somebody snitching on me. You right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then they're like, but that's Miss Shia. Remember what Miss Shia used to say? If I want to know about you, I'll find out. And that's when they be like, oh, she ain't playing. Now, if I want to know about you, I'll find out. Definitely guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? You just don't never know what I'm finding out. But at the end of the day, seeing them smiling, seeing them get hype, and me jumping in on the hype sometimes, and then they laugh at me because I don't always hit hit the right dances at the same time. Don't worry, I'm still learning. TikTok is different. I'm trying. It's hard out here. You know what I'm saying? It's hard out here. But just seeing them smile, seeing them come to me, see them having one-on-ones with me, like not too long ago, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, I stepped into the late night because I wanted something to eat because one of my former club kids was cooking. And I was coming to eat. That I threw a fit. I even apologized, I had to apologize to her directly and their parents because I cut it a donkey because I was that hungry. So.
Like that into the situation?
Yeah, bro. Some people could have caught it. I don't never like being that hungry.
Gotcha. You were hangry.
It's beyond.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's like, it was worse than the commercial. Okay. The Snicker, it was worse. I was yelling and everything. I had to apologize profusely on that. But I came and ate, and there's just a whole bunch of, that late night was like a whole bunch of boys. And they was like, Miss Shia, what are you doing? And I was like, hey, I'm coming to get something to eat. And I had grabbed my plate and I was satisfied, and still apologizing for my behavior. Because like I'm an adult that apologizes for my behavior, okay, and that says a lot. A lot of people don't apologize for their behavior to kids, you know what I'm saying? They're not kids, but they're teenagers, but I still call them kids. So I was apologizing for my recklessness. Still apologize.
Yeah. I would say if I can say anything like a I don't know if it's like word of encouragement or like there's like a church term for it or something like.
Can I finish my story though?
Oh, sorry, I thought that was.
No.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Let me finish the story.
Yes, ma'am.
You was having a moment. I could see it. It was tapped in there. I saw the shine in the eye. Oh yeah, I saw the shine in your eye.
Let it
Let me cook here, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You got some of my time right now. So no, it was so like the boys started coming to me and they were talking to me, and I'm sitting there and I'm talking to each and every one of them, like making sure I'm present with each and every single one of them. So there's like you got 5 to 6 to 10 boys trying to talk to you, and you're trying to catch on, to everybody, but you're still laying present and making sure you're hearing everybody. But one in particular, a lot of them boys have my heart. They know they do. And one in particular, I talked to him a while back because he was like, I'm moving with my mom's and I'm going to go to this other school. And I stopped and told him, I says, listen, I hope that you do better. Take this opportunity because you are a gift. And I said, I know that you have it in you to do better. And I got to see him that night, so I was super amped up too, because he saw me, I saw him. And I even told him earlier, I talked about him to a middle schooler, about one of his actions that had happened. And when I was there, and I yelled his name across the cafeteria, and he was about to go hands, but he heard me say something, it's called his name, and he came, and he looked at me, he goes, Mom, I didn't do nothing. I know you didn't do nothing. I just told you to come here because I knew that I had to break you away from that situation. But I was telling another kid about it, like a middle schooler, and he was like, you know that person? I was like, yes. Ask him if he knows me. And it was like, oh, okay. So I was telling him how I used his story, as a positive situation to a middle schooler that knows him. And I talked about that particular incident. And so he was like, for real? And he was like, man, Miss Shai, you just don't know how much I've grown. And I was like, really? I said, enlighten me. And he tells me about a situation that happened to him and his father. And as I was listening to him, I looked at him and I saw like growth in him as a young man, and how he was able to forgive his father and speak with his father again. I said, I knew you had it in you. I says, boy, you got a heart.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to forgive your father, especially on the incident that it went down. But the fact that you did that and still speak to him and show him respect, that says a lot about your character.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though you may, think that your father was wrong, and he may have been. I'm not here to judge that situation because I wasn't there. I'm only getting one side of the story, not two.
Right.
But the fact that you became the bigger man in that situation, I knew that was in him.
Yeah.
That's all I'm here to do, is to encourage it and keep it going. Add that fire, to the wood that's already been burning. You know what I'm saying? Not putting water on it. I remember saying something to a girl when she was talking about getting into a fight. I said, and she was like, it's all hearsay. I said, you know what the best thing you can do to a hearsay? All that hearsay? She said, what? I said, add water. She's like, what? I said, add water. She was like, what you mean, Mashaya? I said, add water to it, meaning don't add no more fuel. Add water.
Gotcha.
Ain't everything you need to fight for. It's not everything you need to fight for. You don't have to fight for your name when your name speaks for you.
It's true.
When your character speaks for you. What you do for people speaks for you. Even those that do you wrong, you still have a character that people speak highly of you. Because the only thing you got in this world is your name. How would you like to be remembered when you pass away? And we've seen all these beautiful kids that are being passed away in unfortunate circumstances of each and every one of them. And all you hear is great things about these kids and how they were. And then, and this is the perspective of other people. It says a lot.
Yeah.
It says a lot. So that literally, that's the thing that has to be worked upon is people that are coming across these beautiful kids, and whatever purpose that you come across, you just add more fire to the fuel that they already have, wherever their heart may be. or their heart may lie, or their opinions of themselves. You just got to add that fuel to keep them growing.
Like add fuel to all the positive things.
Exactly.
Worry less about trying to water out the bad
Yes.
flames.
Because trust me, there are some bad kids.
Yeah. And then
Okay, but them bad kids is goofy.
Yeah.
They funny,
Yeah.
and we have our moments.
A bunch of goofy goobers.
And that's what I'm saying. But I know. Listen, I know some kids in the street, and they bad. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But when we bump into each other, we smiling, we joking around. I always tell them take care of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like if nobody else loves you, I love you.
Yeah, I can't think of one like bad kid that I knew from when I first started working at the place I work at that hasn't grown and changed. Like there's
That I'm glad. I'm glad you see that.
There's a couple that tragically passed on, things like that due to the consequences of their actions. But other than that, there's a couple people that I know of who went into correctional places, but one of them that I knew, he just got out. He's like changed man, and he didn't even do like any type of crazy stuff.
I know who you're talking about too.
Yeah, and so
I know
how that character growth.
Listen, I remember. No, I bumped heads with that one.
Yeah.
Nah, I scooped up on him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so this is what we doing? As soon as he saw me, his eyes rolled up. He's like, Miss Shy, let me explain.
Yeah.
So you basically talking about self-rehabilitation.
Yeah, he's like on a whole different type of path as far as like he was always kind of okay. He wasn't really a bad kid either.
No. I'm just saying that sometimes when you hang with certain people,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying. So, you know how the laws apply.
100%.
So I understand what you're saying on that.
For me, I was just so proud of.
But he was never like that anyway, though.
Right, but I was proud to see the direction because he didn't really care. He was just kind of floating through life.
He was for a minute.
You know what I mean? And not that that's necessarily bad. That's the age that you're supposed to be kind of floating to an extent.
True.
But just to see him go more than most of his other friends that were good influences, he's like
No, he learned.
on a trajectory.
No, but he learned the lesson. Not everybody learns the lesson.
Right.
You got those who, unfortunately, they don't get that chance.
Or they don't monopolize them.
It's not even that. Who's in your corner?
Yeah. They aren't able to monopolize them.
Who's in your corner?
Yeah.
Because we got some beautiful people that, you know what I'm saying, will do anything and everything for their children. Anything and everything. And yet the child is still not learning the lesson.
Right.
So I was like, I was told like a long time ago, if they ain't learning, then move out the way.
Let them learn that lesson.
You have to.
Yeah.
And I had to do that with my own children. I have to move out the way. I can't fix it for them, even though I know I could. But there are things that I am not here to fix. They have to learn the lesson.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that as a mother or a parent, period, guardian, it doesn't matter. It's hard. It's hard. But I get it.
Yeah.
Because not, a parent can think, oh, I'm abandoning my baby or da-da-da-da-da. No, honey, it's just a lesson that has to be learned. And you're not the one that's going to teach them the lesson. So move out the way. Let them learn the lesson.
Yeah, and if you're still there for them once they're going through that lesson, then you're not abandoning them.
No,
just
but you're not
continually
also, but you're not
placing it
him.
on.
But the same thing as being there for him does not mean that you enable them.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that's sometimes the hardest piece is enabling them,
Yeah,
so they don't truly learn the lesson because of our own parent guilt. And I've been through that too. So I'm not saying that's hard, tough love or nothing. No, it's just letting them learn the lesson. Because if they don't learn the lesson, they gon' continue down. Right. It's gonna continue to happen. And I've just learned to remove myself from it. It's not okay. But then also you're not necessarily judging them for the behavior because you don't always know what's outside of it.
Right.
Why they're acting like this. A child acts out when something's happening, just like a hurt dog.
yeah.
Okay. Over time, a hurt dog, you keep on doing the things that he'll howl, and a child behavior tailors whatever is going on in the home.
It's true.
So, and I'm saying good and bad. So for me, I think communication is one of the best keys that I try my best to stay with, because I ain't always got it right. Like I'm saying, I got kids that was trial and error, literally, not saying my own personal, but just working in the business that I work in. I never always had it right. And so when I look at moments like that in my journey, I try to make sure that I don't repeat it. Okay. And I always want to make sure that I apologize for my behavior. Because at that time, I think early in my journey, I was just a mom, and I was working in this field and just being a mom. Well, I ain't everybody's mama.
Right.
Okay. And I can't talk to people and do certain things, to kids, in an authoritative term,
Yeah.
because they're not my kid.
Right.
So my goal was like, you know what? Let me start getting to know the parents. Let me start getting to know the whole situation. So when I do deal with these kids, I at least got something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also keeping their parents aware.
Yeah.
But then there's also moments where I couldn't keep the parents aware. I had children that were coming out to me
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah.
before they came out to their parents.
Yeah. And
I'm
isn't
like,
safe for them to.
I was
do
going to
that.
say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like a safe place for those
so
kids
that's
to
all
go
I ever try to
feel
be,
comfortable.
is a safe place
Yeah.
for kids to talk to and know that I'm not judging them on. But I always tell those kids too that if you're trying to harm somebody or harm somebody else, that's where my line drawn.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
of
going to
course.
say something.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're also cautious with me on that, but also I've
Yeah.
been Mishai the homegirl, and I'm like,
I think it's good when the child feels
Right.
comfortable
The
to be able to
homegirl.
feel
Yeah.
safe to a person where they can come to them, talk to them. If they got that type of relationship with you, that's a
you
good
know,
thing.
and I love it, but it's
good.
also, it's like a blessing and a curse,
Yeah,
because
it's like a constant
sometimes it can go too far.
Right, right.
feel
What they
too
can share.
comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold
And
up,
they
you know I'm a
overshare,
mom,
and
right?
they're like, I gotta, yeah. Like,
I'm a mom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a mandatory reporter type thing.
No, not even just mandatory. I'm a mom.
But that,
Like, no, because them boys be telling me some stuff, and I'll be
okay, yeah, I guess that's not mandatory.
like, just
report,
shock factor, just like, bro, you know I'm a mom, right? You know I'm a girl. First I said, you know I'm a girl.
but- Yeah.
But you the homie, Miss Shot. Nah, not that. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
He's like, not
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Miss Shia,
Right.
why you gotta tell me about you kissing somebody? I don't want to know nothing about that.
Right.
I don't need to know nothing what's going on in
much
your
information.
intimate circle.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and I act up. I be acting like I'm about to really hurl. Oh, I'm over exaggerating. Soon as that, Miss Shia. Sorry, it just you talked about you
burped out
and the girl.
Yeah, it's done. It's,
This acid reflex is coming. Anybody got any
Yeah,
water?
that's-
Anybody? You know, and they
Yeah.
just
That's like a crazy one to learn how to navigate, especially like being my age. I'm close to some of those kids in age, and then luckily I've been able to. I remember like having to set some of the boundaries, but luckily I don't remember most of those conversations, so it
Right,
doesn't
right.
scar me. But there was
I'm
one,
traumatized.
There was one that was like egregious, where I was like, bro, I understand that you're only like 13, so you don't understand that that's bad, but like you are showing this to other
remember
grown
that.
women, and then also other younger kids who, yeah, sure, maybe they're 12 or 11,
Right.
but if they're not already like
there.
like that's scarring them.
True.
And like you're doing it as a joke because it's funny to you, and I
Right.
get it. Like that is funny if in a certain context maybe, but it's definitely not good in any context. You know, like it's not like a positive thing in any context. It's just only funny to other people who have already been able to deal with, you know,
Man, I could tell you
that type.
stories.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Stories about kids and what they do, and
Yeah.
how like stuff was so traumatic to me, and stuff like, man, I have stories galore of just a lot of stuff that kids will definitely push boundaries
Right.
Yeah.
or try to push your boundary.
Yeah.
And I've also saved a lot of kids too.
Yeah.
So the ones that I've lost, I grieve for them, but at the same time, I have to move forward.
Yeah.
The ones that I've see succeed, I am grateful for to be a part of their journey. I'm nothing but a servant, and I only serve in the capacity that God allows me to serve. And I've been serving in this capacity for a very long time, and not just for just teenagers and kids, but also women and men and just anybody that comes across my path.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed on that piece. But I can tell you, sometimes I go home and try to unravel all that. It's hard because of what I've seen, what I've listened to, and what I've, experienced in this work that I do. And I can tell you, there's a lot of times I go home at night and I just want to go to bed, just go to sleep. Not, being depressive in myself personally, but just because of what was being told or shared with me.
Yeah, decompress.
And just totally decompress.
Yeah.
But then I still have to show up for a 9-year-old and a 21-year-old and a 28-year-old. That's, what I'm saying? I still have to show up and I still have to be present. So, but I'm grateful for having those moments of time where I can just decompress and be like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even if all this picked up perfectly, we definitely got to have you on again, because you on our first podcast with you where we didn't even have video, I remember we did have like a 15 to 20 minute conversation just about that, with like managing energy and how to kind of cope in a healthy way with all that.
Definitely.
And be able to be there for both spheres, you know what I mean? Like
And
child's world, work's world, and then because your work blends into real life, so I'm not even going to call it, you know what I mean? But there's that third sphere of like life where both overlap.
they do.
You know?
And my work and my life do, what I do in my life does overlap.
Because you're being a real person. You're not just showing up like robotically doing a task. You're not like typing in numbers all day and then going home. Some people, they treat work life completely different. I think maybe it's good to have a certain boundary or separation sometimes, but if you're being a real human being and authentically interacting with everybody, it's hard for those to not overlap.
No, it is. It's very hard for those not to overlap. But one thing I do is this. I don't open my door unless I invite you.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, when I go home, if I ain't invite you, I don't expect you to see you at my front door.
Oh, because sometimes people would.
And I the only person that pops up is my children, because they got a key.
Yeah.
My daddy, but my daddy usually calls me anyway. But I'm just saying, like, there's nobody that just pops up at my door and be like, "Hey, Miss Shia." No, it has to be an invitation, because my home is my sanctuary, and that's where I hold all my peace at. And not everybody is allowed to enter the door, especially after sinners. Especially after sinners. I'm skeptical now. I'm skeptical now.
Next time someone,
Matt,
comes in and say, "Are you welcome?"
Look, I'm gonna look at you.
Welcome in anymore. I'm saying.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
I'm answering with a different weapon.
Did you watch that yet?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I was
pretty
getting ready
good.
to say it was a movie like you got to be invited inside the house.
No, that's the vampires.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's from the vampire.
That's a good one. I don't really like horror movies that much, but that one was.
Yeah, I seen a little bit.
No, it's a good clip. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm saying what you see. It's a really good movie. It's honestly 3 genres in one.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just that that scene that they constantly promote with cornbread.
Yeah.
That's where I'm on.
I think I might let that play.
Cornbread,
Just so that the viewers can be able to see what we're talking about.
Yeah, the person
not the food.
No, yes,
Yeah.
the person that played cornbread.
Yeah.
I'm saying he played that very, very well.
Yeah,
But
for real.
now that point of talking about let me in or whatever. Yeah, now I'm.
Hey, OG, they got a solid OG in that movie.
Okay, so I'm
they do.
gonna play the
Delta-
clip so that people can
Delta
actually
Slim.
see this.
Delta Slim.
I think we'll be able to do that, right?
I've been all over this world. I seen men die in ways I ain't even know was possible. Love you, brother. Be careful. I will. For all the things that I seen. I ain't ever seen no demons, no ghosts,
shit going on out here?
You keep dancing with the devil. One day he's gonna follow you home.
That I want is where he gets the grenade and he
No.
That's my
no,
favorite.
no,
no
no,
wow
no.
or any clip of
Listen,
Delta Slim.
Listen,
any of them.
Delta Slim.
He doesn't
Okay,
have
we gotta
one
keep
bad
that in.
moment in that movie.
He don't, but
He's
just
incredible.
No, not
So
the,
he's a good actor.
It's
Dude,
Delroy.
he's incredible.
Okay, you don't even know who Delroy.
I don't know
even-
by the
okay.
name.
To be honest, he looked familiar, but I don't even
No,
know
he's
what I
in
know
multiple
him from.
movies. He's in
Yeah.
Crooklyn.
Okay.
I don't
He's
know Crooklyn.
okay. That's an OG movie, Spike
yeah,
Lee
yeah.
movie. Crooklyn was a
I've
movie
heard
that
it,
he
but I
played the
haven't seen
father.
it.
You got to
I've only
watch
seen
it. It's
one
a
Spike Lee movie.
really good movie. He played in Crooklyn. He also played in the last film. It was another Spike Lee film, The Five Bloods. I think it was what it was titled.
seen that either.
But it was last with Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, that's
So
his last film.
Yeah,
Did
that
it
was
right?
no
Okay.
second to last film
Okay.
because there was another film that he did as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in that one. But he's a veteran actor, very nice veteran actor. He's played in a lot of other movies. It's not on my mind right now. But
I see all kind of trailers right now. As you guys are
but
talking.
I'm just saying, like you have to watch it.
Okay.
It's not as gory as everybody thinks it is. It's really not.
Okay.
I think that's where the
not
part
too
for
bad.
me, because I don't do horror movies too much.
I don't either, but this one.
But
sound
this
like,
one, no, but it's a 3-in-1. It's a 3-in-1. That's all I can say. Like
I don't.
Cougar could have navigated
Yeah.
in any way. He could have navigated any way with this movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
He did it all
like,
the ways, kind of.
It's like
Yeah.
it's a 3-in-1 for me because there's to me there's 3 different storylines going on.
Okay.
More than that actually.
Yeah, there's-
But he can maneuver it any. Like I'll sit there. I was like, so are we gonna build up the story from this situation, or what are we gonna build on this situation? And
all
then
of them.
after the the one that's being magnified, you know what I'm saying, in clips, that's just one situation.
Right.
He has
Oh, yeah.
another one.
Oh yeah.
And you're
yeah.
just sitting there going,
Yeah, that's another.
You talking about the one with the white girl?
no, no. I'm
one
talking about.
situation-
I'm talking about.
I
situation
seen
you're
that. I
talking
seen
about.
what you.
I'm trying not to
The white
spoil
girl
it
one-
for him.
The white girl one is being like heavily commercialized just because it's a very funny like.
Well,
part.
the way that she
yeah.
talks
the
to
way
him.
that she is. Yeah.
But there's also like
but that's like small.
that. Yeah,
potatoes.
that's. But I'm just saying, like navigating love scenes and navigating 2 separate love stories, and
But
then
is he a director of the show or? I mean,
no,
movie
Cougar
or whatever?
is Ryan
He
Cougar.
is? Yeah.
Yes, he's the one who did Creed.
Okay. Okay.
He's the
Yes,
one who did Creed.
he's
and
the
then
one who did
also
Creed
Michael
and the
B.
Black
Jordan.
Panther.
Gotcha.
Well, and
Both
also-
of them.
Okay.
Oh wait, are you talking about Michael B. Jordan? or the
No, I'm
director?
talking about Ryan Cougar, the
So
actual.
he works with Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
Okay.
So he was. But
Well,
I'm
Michael
just
B. crushes. He crushes.
like him playing the twins is very interesting to see. But I'm just saying storyline. This dude, he's had amazing different storylines in this bad boy that I'm still kind of perplexed, and I got to go back and watch it again because there was some stuff I missed because I had to go to the bathroom. So
So you saying that he actually played
did, I
two
did.
parts in one movie?
You said what?
huh?
You, okay, you said something about the twins.
Oh no, I'm saying Michael B.
Oh, yeah,
Jordan
Michael B.
playing
Jordan plays
twins.
Okay.
He plays twins in the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's playing 2 separate people.
Okay. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and I'm
right.
like, and there's 2
Yeah, you gotta
leading
be
ladies.
talented for something like that, man, for
He,
real.
And
nah,
he-
I'm
he
sorry.
really kills it. Yeah,
He kills it, but them love scenes was what he can do with Mary, he can't
Yeah.
do with Annie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got
He
some
can't
y'all
do it,
talking
Annie.
about, man.
She's too much.
Y'all
She's too
hear-
much
y'all
of a
hear this
woman for
conversation,
him.
right? I'm not sure if we could be able to play.
She's
it.
too much for a woman.
Well, I'm gonna do my best to let you see this.
I'm telling you right now, she's too much of a woman.
Nah.
She too much
You
for
got
him.
this.
He didn't handle it.
I know, I can.
I'm disappointed. I think he could have handled that a lot better if he wasn't so skinny. Because only a big man can handle that big.
Michael B. I'm not 6 foot.
I'm just saying that.
If I can handle, you can handle.
No, he didn't handle. Shut up. I'm not even going to. Shut up.
Power to the people.
Shut up. I ain't even going to tell her that. Shut up. All I'm saying is Is that one? You could do Mary the way you could do Mary, but you can't do Ann the way you do Ann. Okay.
I don't know if I should cut this part
That
out
Mississippi
or what,
woman from the Delta.
Maybe he's just
God
not built
bless
like a
him.
Tacoma boy. You know what I'm saying?
Shut up. Shut
Tacoma
up.
man.
You wish.
Tacoma man.
Whatever. Don't let me go there because I won't do it to you. Myself from it, and that's just it. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Shia.
Anytime.
Be respectful of your time. Do you have any? I felt like that put a bow on it. That was incredible. That was great.
No, nothing. I just appreciate the opportunity to speak, as always. Now I'm going to go off and go do some exchanging of the plants.
There we go.
Joyous occasion, joyous occasion. Love gardening. Love gardening.
We want to encourage you
Plant
guys.
swaps, local plant swaps. That's it.
Don't they have some type of plant thing going on today?
Yeah, that's where I'm trying to get to. Because y'all, you know, I got my 4 gardens over there.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
You know what I'm saying? I got to, we got to get in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, she texts me already. My child texts me talking about, which one you want, tomato or zucchini? Give me the zucchini.
All right, I'm going to end this off with thanking you guys for tuning in to the show. We ask that you guys would show up and go online and look for Lifting Spirits, Saving Souls, and subscribe to our channel. And we would also thank you, Ms. Shire, for showing up and doing the interview with us.
Anytime.
Yep, thank you, Josiah.
Anytime.
Thank you, OG.
Yep.
You know, I do what I can.
All right, you guys. Peace out.
Deuces.